and let them take over. Hey, how was your Wednesday?
Scott, thank you very much for the intro. Wednesday is going fantastic. And Brad, let's check your audio real quick.
Testing 1, 2, 3. How are you?
Fantastic, as you know. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm back.
You're back.
I know you had to suffer through Brad's Q&A for what, Brad, was it a whole week without
2
me?
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks without you.
You guys are so sad, but I'm back. And Brad, I know you did a good job.
Thanks.
I know you did. But it's time to go all in on possibly the best Q&A webinar ever.
Ever.
Are you ready? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, as you all know, before we begin the Q&A webinars, we do our standard disclaimer that none of the information that you're going to hear today from myself or any affiliate or member of the Trade Ideas team should be construed as investment advice. Okay, we are not registered investment advisors, and all the information that you're going to be hearing from myself and the rest of my team is for educational and informational purposes only, although it's very pertinent to your success. Now,
so when you say something like buy GME, you don't mean something like buy GME or anything like that, right?
No. These are all suggestions, and like I said, you have to learn to make your own investing decisions, but we will help you with that. So this is our disclaimer, as you can see, number 1. But for this type of a webinar, and I'm actually so glad that most of you are already Trade Ideas subscribers, because then the next disclaimer is not going to affect you. But we usually like to do 2 disclaimers when the webinars are this good. And this disclaimer is, guys, for those of you, for the very small amount of you that are not Trade Ideas subscribers, be very careful today, because this Q&A webinar is going to blow your doors, and you're going to want to grab your wallet very aggressively, pull it out of your pocket and grab the credit card. And if you are not careful, you could sprain your diamond-handed finger. And we want you all to be diamond-handed. So once again, these are our 2 disclaimers. The first one real, the second one, I don't know. Brett, possibly real. Maybe. Potentially. We have an amazing show for you today, right now. Guys, and some of these slides repeat, but it's very germane to what's going to be happening. We're going to show you some amazing stuff. Let's dive right into it. First of all, my goodness, our timestamps so good. Here's a slide from our Q&A on the 17th of February. Brad, that wasn't that long ago, was it?
That was less than a month ago, so yeah, not too far back.
Less than a month ago, and I brought up this slide, and this, I don't even know if I changed anything except for the very last part where I say, panic on Wall Street, no volume sell-off, time travel edition. The time travel edition is just for now, obviously, because, this is no longer February the 17th, it's March 10th. But on February 17th, I caught this beautiful piece of Gamestop information. And again, all of this will be related to Trade Ideas, believe you me. Okay?
Future proves past.
Future proves past. Mike, I like how you say 30,000. Not exactly 30, but we'll discuss that. But notice what I'm showing you here, okay? I'm showing you on the right-hand side in our single stock window, which is a window you can get from Trade Ideas, and you can actually customize this yourself. We're one of the few people that show you how much something is up since January 1. So in this case, at $46, holy moly, GameStop was already up 146%. But Brad, look at the relative volume. What was going on here? What does 0.16 mean if you could help me, help you to help our users?
Well, that just means that on the day that you were looking at this, which was what, the 17th of February, the stock really wasn't doing that much volume compared to what it had done previously at that point in time during the day. So 0.1, yeah, the ratio of 0.1, so pretty small amount.
16% of what it normally does. But how is this connected to the next block, which is the short flip?
Well, it's just telling you that there are a lot of, out of all the people that are in this stock, a lot of people are short the stock when you take a percentage of the float, the number of stocks that can be traded.
Absolutely. And what I wanted to point out in the last two blocks is that one of the ways that you can do this synthetically is through the options market. And here you have the hedgies trying to push as much downward pressure on GameStop as they possibly could by just buying a bunch of puts, which forces people to sell, etc. This is called the gamma squeeze. You probably heard this 100 billion times now on the internet, but it's all related to this. And remember, we are here for unusual returns, for gigantic gains. We're going to be talking about all of this, but I just want to start with this. Remember, on the 17th of February, GameStop is at $46.45. Okay. All right. So why was this so critical, and why are we in this trading business in the first place? And how many times has your brilliant leader, me, said that everything you've learned about the stock market is a lie? From the buy and hold, not that buy and hold is bad all the time, but simply to just always do it and never apply risk measures, to the fact that even a lot of the stuff that's being reported by the institutions is in fact bullshit. In this case, the reason that I wanted to point this out is I was saying, look, SEC data shows that somebody has to buy 350 million shares of GameStop. I mean, just think about this for a minute. Let's go back real quick. Let me go back. So here it says 41% of the float is short. And Brad, what is the float here? Roughly 51 million?
Yeah, 51 million. That's the shares so outstanding minus the insiders.
Right. So in this case, 40% is roughly 20 million, 4 times 5, something to that effect, right? But even the SEC's own data says 350 million shares.
Well, that's not $1 million worth of.
Yeah, sorry, $1 million of shares failed to deliver. So again, lots and lots of shares out there that are still short, and they're messing with you. The game is rigged, and it's rigged against the little guy. Okay, so which is why we're talking about the fact that GME is such an important part of your awareness of the stock market. It exposes the glitch in the matrix. You've been taught some stuff. You thought that the stock market worked this way and that there's buyers and sellers and Robinhood's trying to help you, but it's the complete opposite. Robinhood is a front for a market parasite called Citadel, which takes small little increments of stocks in between the spread. Like, these people make money on a micro lots, like less than penny increments, and multiplied by billions and billions of shares. And the only reason that a Robinhood even exists is as a front operation for this parasitic market structure. Again, the reason I'm pointing this out is because people got wise to it and the tables have been turned. Welcome to today. As you can see from February 17th, where I pointed out the price of GameStop being 47 cents, today we touched $350 at one point, okay? And at that point, there were some hedge fund managers who were on the ledge of their one-story Stamford, Connecticut office building. They're about to take that one-story jump and just go right into the hedges. See, Brad, how I worked that? The hedge fund managers jumping right into their hedges.
A little double entendre.
Melvin and Citadel called somebody right around here, and somebody was in panic mode. So look what happened. Again, everybody saw this. If you didn't know this happened today, well, then you were missing literally like the most important stuff of the market. So at 350, somebody called and cried, "Help me, help me." And somebody was able to pull some leverage and get the stock halted and to do this. Boom, it went from 350 to 300. These are 5-minute candles. So in what is equivalent of 10 minutes, it dropped 50 points. Then in another 5 minutes, it dropped another 50 points. And then in another 10 minutes, it dropped another 50 points. Hey, Brad, can I ask you something? I mean, between us market participants, does this look like a fair and orderly market?
No, I was watching it during that time, and nothing about it seemed reasonable at the time.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is proof to you that what we are saying is true. The market is kind of rigged against you, except what we do at Trade Ideas, and the reason that you're here is we're trying to give you the tools to beat the riggers. Okay, and we're going to show you how we do it, what it is that we do, but I'm trying to give you perspective, and part of the perspective is that no matter what kind of like risk measures and other things you have employed, these kinds of moves, well, first of all, Brad, they can't really be predicted, right? You couldn't have known that this candle, right, was going to cause this, then this. And over here, you can almost imagine psychologically that somebody wants somebody to panic and sell, okay? Needless to say, that didn't happen, and we'll get into how everything ended up working out and where it's at. But I just want you to see what's going on, where we're at, and why it's important to you. We're in the middle of a war, ladies and gentlemen. The war is on Wall Street. Wall Street is in panic mode because we, the individual investors, have realized that they've been lying to us the whole time. Does anybody even know, for example, what the heck a mutual fund even does with your money? Nobody really knows, I think. I'm starting to think they might not even put it in the stock market. Brad, I'm serious. With the amount of like, when I used to look at my portfolio that we had in our 401ks, and we had it, you know, in the standard Vanguard and Fidelity and whatever, and somehow it's up like 1% or 0.5%.
You have to work to only have it up that little.
I think you do, but I'm starting to think that they're not even putting it in the market. That's going like, you know, into the Citadel Yacht Fund, and then they kind of sprinkle you your $5. And I mean, literally, it could be that bad. So this is a metaphor, a visual metaphor for what's going on in the battle. This is a David and Goliath battle, and these are the bad guys. You got 0.72 at the head. That's Steve Cohen, the hedge funds. Citadel is the parasitic spear that destroys, you know, your ability to really work the market. The whole concept is the heart of it is naked shorting, which they can do, you know, pretty much to infinity. Their tool is Robinhood, which is why it's at the, you know, at the tool area. They are protected by the SEC because all the hedgies who used to be there in the 70s are now running the SEC when they get older, and Melvin's one of the legs, and there's many legs like it. But this is the battle, you guys. This is where we're at. But the beauty is the good guys are actually winning, okay? I've used this slide before, and the reason I'm trying to point this out is that the passion in the people that have woken up, and again, it's the great awakening of the stock market in the sense that people have realized they've been lied to about everything. And now they're figuring things out on their own. And I love this slide, and obviously it's a shit post from Reddit, and I copied it because it just kind of shows you how someone thinks, and that this thought process is multiplied by millions and millions of people. It's the bang stocks versus the FANG stocks. Okay, so I'm gonna minimize the presentation here. Make sure I got it in the right slide. Oh, actually, let me do one more. Hold on here. All right, so and again, this slide I've used before, and Brad, I don't know if you've used this presentation the last time we did it, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that we made a channel for the Wall Street bet stocks that we update, I don't know if it's daily, but certainly quite often, where we show you all the stocks that are being mentioned on Wall Street Bets and how they're doing in terms of their price action, and you will be able to find this on the channel bar. So I'm gonna switch over to the software part, and we're gonna dive into some amazing stuff. Before we do this, let me please make sure that you guys know, are you able to see my screen? And again, I'm very glad that so many of you are subscribers, because I'm gonna dive deep today. You're gonna be behind the wheel of the NASCAR. You know, this is not your Prius or Tesla or whatever. This is the racing car engine. So what I'm going to be showing you is, number one, this is Brokerage Plus. This is a layout that I use. I'm going to show you how I use it, why I use it, why it's so powerful, and what we've done recently with the charts to really make you kind of see a different perspective. So let me type in your favorite Tesla, because I know you love it so much. Okay. So let's kind of dive in here real quick. Before we get into the Brokerage Plus aspect, and this is real money, by the way, just so you guys know. So this is I'm connected in privacy mode to Interactive Brokers. I'm also connected to simulated trading. That's right here at the bottom. But this right here is my real interactive brokerage account that I use to trade and test and make sure that people know that we're not just here to talk the talk, we walk the walk. And in terms of walking the walk, let's take a look. This isn't 30,000, Mike, but this is not my only Gamestop. I have a lot of my 401k at about $10 worth, $65, and I have several thousand in my 401k. But here I have 333 shares because, again, I'm trying to make sure that you guys can all relate to Trade Ideas users, because I imagine, well, first of all, it's not just I imagine, I am in your shoes. I'm no better than any one of you, and I'm also making decisions. In this case, this account is, well, right now it's about 160,000, but it didn't start off there. It kind of grew over the course of me trading it and figuring out different things. But I want to show you that I talk what I'm doing. So here in GameStop, I'm actually in, and I'm up 210 points on 33 shares with an entry price of 500. Entry price of $55.71. Okay,
333 shares.
Right, 333 shares, a little numerology in there. The last trade, 266. This is my P&L for the day today, 10,711, whatever. 11,000, I'll take that too. But this should be no surprise to many of you, okay? And the reason I'm saying this is because if you've been watching our Q&A webinar with me, you've seen my portfolio. I've shown you this. There is nothing here that should surprise you. All you need to be telling yourself is like, man, I should have followed that guy. I know. I say that to everybody. But that part has to come from you internally. But the whole point is that, if I was down big, you would see it. And I've been down in positions, and you have seen it. You've seen me come in here. I'm down like 2,000 or 3,000 on something. But I'm trying to show you the overall things. And first of all, even though I'm up a lot in GameStop, I've got another big winner, and one that's brewing. And you're going to see some interesting similarities between all of these. Okay. So just quick, are there any questions about anything that you're seeing right now? Thanks, Mike. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, let me get back to Tesla. Okay, and I want you to catch something that your eyes should be catching. Do you notice that there's a green coloration and a red coloration on the chart? This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be one of the most critical improvements that we recently added. Okay. Chris, in terms of CMFN, I'm trying to remember. I've been in that one for a little while, probably like 6 months. Yeah, it's just my play on the cannabis stocks, that's all. Okay, but back to the charting. Do you guys notice this green and red coloration? So we've always talked about the fact that charts without the proper data aren't that helpful. And we've always thought to ourselves that one of the things that's missing is an expectation barrier in the charts. In other words, well, what's really going on? Because unless your eyes can be pinpointed to the fact that, well, what if I got in now, for example, then you really don't know what's happening. And in this case, what we're doing is we're saying, hey, if Tesla is right here, which I think it's where it was at the close, me pull this up right here. 672. So like right here. You got into it right here and bought it, right? As it starts to fall, your losses would compound until this is your stop loss level suggested. And if you bought right here, then your gains would get more and more solid as we hit 752, which is potentially a profit target area. So now every single stock that you're going to see, I'll bring up Apple, will have these levels for you, okay? Right here, 120, here's your loss area, here's your gain area. We're actually going to be soon putting a numerical amount in here in the background that you will then be able to specify in terms of how much you trade. So that's going to be a very particular display based on your own preferences. So Brad, tell me real quick, if you can, when was this added and what version do our customers need to be able to see the data?
You're talking about for our gradient between our profit target and smart
Correct.
stop?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's in there. Everybody has it, but we've done some enhancements to it, and it will be coming in the next beta that's going to be on our website. Not the one that's currently there, but we'll be updating that one in the next day or two with a more recent beta, and it'll have it all in there.
Right, and Joseph, I think that's the point, is that the stronger and weaker, it's already built in. You should be able to see a gradient. The white is where you're entering, so that's right here, that's on this level. And notice it gets darker as we get more green, and same thing for the red, it gets more red. By the way, take a look at other vendors. I don't think you're going to see this anywhere because it requires a little bit of server technology. And by the way, look at this beautiful Seabird Financial after hours move, Brad. Nice.
Muriel's still kicking.
I don't think she's alive, but maybe she took over Robinhood. Who knows? It's hard to say, but certainly nice after hours work here. Yeah, so this question about level 2 comes up a lot, and I need to I reiterate this all the time. Level 2 data is a waste of time and money. That's right, you heard it. It's a waste of time and money. Why is it a waste of time and money? You say, Dan, explain it to me. I shall. Okay, so level 2 data allows you to look at the bid price and see who's stacking up on the bid, look at the offer price and who's stacking up on the offer. But how can that be relevant, the bid and the offer, right? When you're trying to go for 211 points. Remember the game. The game is not to make 25 cents, scalp out, and give yourself a virtual high five and then do it again. Aggressive scalp intraday trading is impossible to scale successfully. You heard it here. What I'm saying is it's not that it can't be done. Like, I've traded intraday successfully many a time, but you can't get 211 points trading intraday because you'll miss some things. You'll miss a gap up of like 20 points and then you'll never catch it again. So what I'm simply saying here is level 2 information used to be relevant in the 90s. Okay, when Brad and I were much younger and more handsome men, we used to trade off of level 2 data, and it was the most valuable when that data was in fractions. Yes, man, you could believe how fast we could do, like, what's 3/8 or 7/16. Brad, see, notice how you have to know that it's 7/16, not 8/16, which is a half. You know what I'm saying? So back to the level 2 data stuff. I just want to make sure you know, if you are spending money on level 2 or these ladders or whatever it is that the platform's trying to get you to buy, it's a complete waste of time. Again, somebody has to say it. It is a complete waste of time. And the reason it's a waste of time is that 10 or 20 or 30 cents does not make any difference in a trade. And if you're trading for that amount, then again, you're missing kind of the whole point of the trade. You're trying to get into big trends and ride them. That's always the winning game, whether it's an Apple, Microsoft, Dell computer of the past, or in this case, Gamestop. And those things never are relevant to that micro time frame and the micro price movements. In fact, again, they're going to do everything in their power to shake you out of it. So that's what we're trying to help you get away from. So this, the coloration on the charts, which is what I was talking about before, okay, this is what helps you to kind of really understand the risk reward of any trade. Okay, you're going to quickly see what's happening, why it's happening, and see where you are numerically as it relates to the P&L. Okay. The other thing is, and again, we have tons of channels that will pinpoint you into the proper things that you're interested in. And I'll channel surf a little bit towards the end of the presentation, but I just wanted to make sure that all of you were aware that in terms of idea generation, again, we've got it all covered. And what I do here is I created my own layout using different windows from different channels, and I just basically copied them and not really configured anything and put them into this one screen for the Q&A webinar. So these are the biggest gainers, and all of our windows are sortable, so I can say, okay, out of all the stocks that are already on the biggest gainers list, well, which ones are kind of on their high point for the last 30 minutes? In other words, which ones are kind of making their move? And this is where the coloring comes into play. Okay, notice, boom, you're in right here. You know what's going on if it goes here, but you also see what's happening at the stop loss. So we're giving you this kind of seat belt, this visual seat belt that I think you're not going to find anywhere else. We haven't seen it, certainly. And the idea is that once you are visually engaged in every stock like it's a possible trade, you really have a better feel. And feel is what it's all about. Brad, and I don't even know how many times Brad and I have talked about golf, okay? And golf is one of these things that has so many great learning phrases as it relates to the stock market. And one of them is paralysis by analysis. You've got people that want to improve golf that start studying like all these mechanics of I mean, literally you could spend 10 years just on your wrist in golf. In fact, I'm pretty sure some educators will help you do that. Just like in the stock market, you got lots of educators that are completely full of it. And this is where Trade Ideas comes in. We are your education system within the software. This is for you. This is your guru, okay? Your guru is telling you, hey, if I buy, and notice the software automatically assumes you're buying wherever the last price is. So here you are, you're buying right here, okay? It's telling you this is what to expect, okay? These are the simple things that are yet so critical and so potent and powerful, okay? We can sort this data by relative volume, okay? I can take a look and see, okay, well, where is the relative volume in terms of like stuff that's just going off the charts, okay? And you can see here, this went from 5 to 10. So this is the other thing that, Brad, when we discuss, you and I, how the world doesn't really tell you the truth about the stock market, because if CNN and all the hedge funds told you that, I mean, hedge funds, the mutual funds told you that this stuff happens in one day, right? 47% one day, split that by 5%, and you've got like, you know, in one day, you've made like 6 years worth of returns. This is why you're in the stock market, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the most liquid and realizable, quote unquote, casino in the world. And today, card counters and other professional speculators are allowed to play. They're not banned. That's really what happened with GameStop, is that some smart people really figured out what was going on with the short interest, right? That it was way oversold in terms of how many shares you could have short and how that's even legal. Nobody even knows. And once they found this out, they pounced on it and they were proven to be right. And this is the kind of information that separates the average investor from, you know, the advantage player. The advantage player is on trade ideas because they have the ability to say, okay, this is going to give me a little bit of an edge. How is it going to give me an edge? Well, it's going to give me an edge because number one, I can sort things in a way that I can in other platforms. Like, where are all the 30-minute highs, or what's pulling back? So here's all the stuff that's strong, right? But if I sorted by this, meaning what's kind of like on 30-minute lows, roughly speaking, well, I'm getting all the pullbacks, okay? I'm just finding out, well, what can I see that's pulling back that might really continue to go? You know, it's very easy to take a look. And every time I see this, I have to say that as one of the end users, of course, of this tech, I just love the feedback that this is giving my eyes. It reiterates to me what I need to know visually, and from the perspective of every stock you look at is a potential trade. So now, notice that we have this thing called idea surfing. Okay, and we've talked, Brad and I talked about this again, but I want you guys to see how all of these things start to get connected. First of all, just a quick reminder, every stock, like for example, this one, right? And I'm just using it as an example. Every stock that you think might be something interesting, and this certainly is interesting, right? Well, you can like it just like you like something on Twitter or TikTok or whatever else social media that I've been kicked out of has to accent your preference. But here we have a little heart, just like in the socials. And now this is going to, now our software is going to follow this stock behind the scenes, and you can always go to all of your channels, sorry, not channels, all the stuff that you like, and there's a channel for it wherever the heck did I put it? Brad, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, stocks I like. So this is already in here, and now that I clicked on this, this stock will appear on this channel. So what's nice about this is that the software is like your assistant. It's following you, it's working with you, but not in that weird, creepy, I'm spying on you sort of way, but just like, hey, here's something you like. And oftentimes you like something and then you'll forget about it. But at the end of the presentation, when I click on this, you'll see all the stuff that I clicked before and liked in other Q&A webinars. And I'm just saying that do not forget, this is another way that the software will help you keep an eye on things. What's another way, you ask? Well, another one, let me kind of zoom in here, okay? So another way that we do it is that we let you set price alerts on any stock. And this is, price alerts are something that lots of people have, but we have a really simple way to do it, where you can say, okay, I like what's going on here. I'm gonna right click, create a price alert for 1611. Again, you can make any, I can say Q&A notes. Everyone has this. And now I just created a pin right here. So this, once this stock hits this level, which then maybe means it can go to this level, I will be alerted to it. There will be a pop-up and I've got nothing else to do. Notice I'm not looking at RSI or VWAP or Kelter or Bollinger or whoever else that they're trying to pump, you know, as your next best thing. I just use my eyes and my intuition. Eyes and intuition. EI. These are your keys for success in the stock market. Okay. Eyes and intuition. You don't need a lot of squiggly lines, although we have some. EMA, SMA, you can add indicators and trade ideas. Nothing wrong with that. But do not fall for the trick of the magic indicator, because none exists. Okay, if there was one magic indicator that worked all the time, well, it would quickly stop working because everybody's using it. Trade ideas does not do that. In fact, one of the big things that we do is that in our AI, which I haven't even discussed yet, which yesterday, I believe, gave us this. Okay, that was the price yesterday, and it went all the way up to 12. And again, these things pull back. I'm not saying that all of it is like a Gamestop. This is where your own risk management has to play in. But the reason that we're able to find these is because every single evening, right now, in fact, while I'm speaking and talking about this new innovation with the visual P&L kind of hypothesis, the software right now, our trade idea software, is pumping through all these different trades getting ready for tomorrow, basically throwing out everything that it thought worked today and starting over. This is the key that separates us from all the small boys and girls out there in the software space, is that we've got real server technology and we don't F around with it. It is the only way that we believe you can succeed. So when I said before, card counting, the reason I wanted to bring this to your attention is because it's kind of like that beating Las Vegas and bringing down the house. We are the only card counting software in the stock market. Our AI is that card counter. It doesn't always win, but just that it tells you where the odds are and helps you play those odds. Okay, Brad, how are we with the questions? I'm going to dive a little bit into the AI real quick.
Yeah, I think we're good. I'm kind of working my way through a few of them, but I think we're good.
Okay, love it. Okay, so I'm going to start with, let me bring our AI window into focus here real quick. So first of all, I'm going to say that, as I've said before, the AI has been on fire lately, but it's impossible to win all the time. This is where risk management comes into play, okay? And I'm going to show you what we do on the risk management side. And really, this is the ultimate lesson on how do you use the AI, okay? So the AI has 3 modes: conservative, moderate, and aggressive. Whoa! Aggressive just simply means you get in, close your eyes, and don't do anything. We don't always recommend that, although again, depending on the price levels of stocks, if you're in a $6 stock and you get in a couple of hundred shares as a feeler, right, then this is nothing, okay? You can still maintain this and have no fear. But I want to show you very clearly right now why what we do is so special, and get ready to get your popcorn. And also, please make sure, if you're not a Trade Idea subscriber, that you do not injure your wrist right now. Brad, you see how I do that?
Very smooth. Very, very
wrist
smooth.
injuries. I hate wrist injuries. You know how many times we've had to help Brad, and he's a member of the team and he's hurt himself subscribing, then we have to refund him. It's really annoying. Okay, here we go. Let me jump in here real quick and make this a little bit bigger. Okay, here we go. So there was a buy signal in XELA, pretty much kind of like, when was the time here? Actually, 6:40, 10 minutes after the open. And at 10 minutes after the open, it kind of looked like it was going to go. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. But as we said before, there is no such thing as the magic 8-ball or a fortune-telling machine that's going to go out there and say, well, if Trade Ideas went long, well, surely then it will, of course, work. No, because once you're in a trade, okay, the trade idea becomes a trade. And the next thing that has to happen here is your own personal risk management. So let's talk about it. So here we showed you, this is the entry, and it actually went up really nicely, very quickly. And in conservative mode, the software would have taken profit after getting in at 694, 747 if you were just playing conservative mode. And by the way, you can do that. You can see conservative and profit. It made $425 on this trade and made 7.74%. It was all within 10 minutes from right here to right here. This happens. But let's just assume that you were kind of in it for a little bit longer. So here you have this candle. It started to retrace, and literally the same 5-minute candle. Brad, what happened here? What is this red line?
It's probably your smart stop, or the stop that was put into the strategy.
That's right. This is the statistical stop that says, hey guys, if I'm the software and I'm giving you some software heads up, like at the blackjack table, this is where the odds of your trade based on the cards is kind of like, poo-pooed. The count is no longer good. And it hits this stop. And Brad, what happened thereafter?
Well, it just continued. It just went lower and lower, yeah.
Right. So this is why we have these stops. And let me tell you what the good, not professional traders, I don't want to say this is just professionals, but what the astute market participant does with this information. You're going to, when you see it, you're going to be like, Well, shit, this is real easy. Okay, you get in. Number one, here it's pure discretion. You may want to take some profit here or not, or you can sell it. Again, there's nothing wrong with this kind of a game. But when you hit this stop sign, the idea is exit, get out. The software is telling you something. And it's telling you that statistically this play is gone, but the beauty is, Brad, does this line ever disappear? No.
Never.
Never. And in fact, okay, you can have the AI re-enter your trades. So if I go to the Holly thing right here, notice here, re-entries enabled, long and short. What does this mean? Re-entries enabled. This is where we separate ourselves from the trading views and all the other views and whoever else is in the stock market. So automatically the computer will get you in. If your risk parameter says to hold, it'll hold. And if it hits the stop, which stop is in there, it'll get you out. But here's what will happen if it turns around and goes back towards the entry. It will get you back in, okay? And it'll set a different stop and it'll exit again. So the idea is that when these turn around, you can re-enter automatically. This is not the first time this happens and it won't be the last. And this is what it looked like on the other stock that was down, basically the same percentage. Here's your entry, okay? It looked like a rebound, but it didn't work. And again, if you scroll out here, I mean, this thing went from 163 in one day to 3, and then it continued to run. By the way, Brad, I'm actually long this one in my 401k. So I've been riding this one since right around these levels. And the AI got in it, love it, but it hit the stop. So all you have to do here, once again, if you want to get back into it, first of all you have to do is you can say something like right click here. And hit save. Okay, here you are. So basically you're saying, hey, you know what? If it gets back above this stop price, I want to get back in. Something looks good. It's that simple. Okay? It's that simple. This is the 1-2 of astute advantage player investing and using our technology. Now, here's what it looks like, by the way, when the trade does go your way and kind of never even comes close to it. And we have this, so this is IPOE, social capital something or other. And here was your entry and kind of just fluttered around there. Started to run up from 1819 to 1877, pulled back, went up again, pulled back, and then closed pretty much on highs. This is, again, applied statistics, and you're able to stay in there, but I'm just trying to show you that all of your levels are here, okay? So this concept that we have where you have a fully sketched out game plan for every single entry and exit, we're the only ones that do this. And what I'm trying to get you to see is that if you even go away from the AI, you don't need premium for this necessarily, although we think it's well worth it. And here again, I'll say I'll heart this because I like it. But Dell computer, okay? Once again, this is its closing price right here. Here's your stop. This is where you get out. But if it gets back to it, you can get literally back in. These levels don't go. Your game plan exists for every single stock, whether it's Microsoft. Oh, here it's some terrible prints. NVIDIA, same thing. They do this a lot after hours, and we have a cleanup routine that's usually doing this. But this is why you can't see those red and green levels when they do this with the prints. Brad, you should tell Michael about this garbage right here.
All right, well.
Whoops. So I said NVIDIA, let's go to Facebook. Okay, Facebook, same thing. Let me zoom out here real quick. You got your smart stop. the dotted line. All of your levels, all of your game plan levels are in there for every single stock, okay? And notice that this is the daily, a little bit bigger picture. I'm gonna zoom right here. Okay, so this is your overall level. The stock is right here. This is your profit target. This is your stop loss. Notice we even have two stops, right? We have one that's your intraday level called the kind of the intraday point of pain, where it kind of stings a little bit. But here you've got what's called the swing exit. If you've been holding this for a while, so this Facebook is kind of approaching its swing exit, which just means that it's overall weaker than, you know, maybe other contemporaries. So not only do we give you the current, like where you are, what's your profit going to look like visually, what's your loss going to look like, but we even tell you like for the longer term, every stock. So let's go to Google, okay? Notice a lot of these big FANG stocks, FANG, not bang, FANG, are all approaching their swing exits, okay? There's some weakness out there. So every single stock has this for you, regardless whether you're a premium subscriber, a standard subscriber. We're the only ones in the business, okay, that give you a full game plan for every single thing. Here's your profit target. If, again, assuming that the entry is at this point. That's the other thing. Whenever you pull up a stock, that's your entry, because that's where it is right now. Here's your swing exit. Here's your intraday exit. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need. The more complicated you make it with, you know, the Kelters and the Bollingers and the RSIs and the VWAPs and the SHMEWAPs and all this other crap, you're just creating actual barriers for you to get in. If I had to have some sort of like magic tell me that GME was above the RSI, below the Kelter channel, it's MACD, guys, forget about it. Okay, you at some point just have to pull the trigger and then manage risk. And I was actually, what I loved about this, Brad, I got in like somewhere like around here. Look how close I am, relatively speaking, right to the swing exit. So I kind of bought it off of its swing exit level and it never looked back. So the other thing that I wanted to show you, and this is, again, a very cool part of Trade Ideas, and I'm almost ashamed that the hour goes by so fast, Brad, when I'm speaking constantly.
I know it does.
So notice we've got a couple of options here on the brokerages that we're trying to work with. Again, Alpaca is really not much going on, but E-Trade, which I've been saying is gonna happen soon, really is, Brad, this time, Brad says it's gonna happen. Very, very soon. But the reason I'm bringing this up is that notice I'm connected to a live brokerage account and Trade Ideas simulated trading at the same time. Why would somebody do that? Well, let me explain, okay? I run automated simulated strategy. Whoops, let me close and move this away. Okay, so I run an automated simulated trading strategy, and what I've realized, and the reason I do this is because there's nothing that tells you more about what's happening than profit and loss. Okay, P&L. So I get into stuff in simulated trading and I'm watching it all the time. Like I can see like AGC, you know, here I bought it, you know, again, I'm down a little bit, but I'm going to be watching the turnaround on this. And if it starts turning around, you know, then I feel like, hey, this could be something really good and I know why I bought it in the first place. But other ones, you know, again, it's giving me this kind of feedback that you just don't get unless you are financially invested. And the way I'm financially invested is I buy certain amounts of shares, and these are all things that you can specify per strategy. Okay, so I have a strategy here that I'm looking at. I think one of them is called blank check, where I'm looking at the SPACs. Another one is just purely momentum based. And I'm trying to find things that are really starting to go. And the reason I'm able to get in them and then act on them is because I see the dollar amounts. You know, when I see something like a $250 gain on 400 shares. That quickly translates in my mind into what's going on, and I'm able to go from here to here. Okay, that's what I do. Or in my case, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll trade in my 401k. And we've talked about this, that I think one of the biggest things that's going to happen out of this GameStop situation is that a lot of people are going to start doing what Brad and I and so many people at Trade Ideas have already done, is that we turned our 401k into self-directed management. Instead of me having to pay money to some fool to make 0.01% for the year, I'm actually responsible for it. You know, if I don't do well, well, it's my fault. But if I am doing well, I'm certainly not going for the 0.01%. You know, I'm going for the GameStop percent. And so I have a lot of my 401k stocks in a top list. So here you can kind of see, you know, what I'm in. And again, I'm not hiding any of this stuff, but if you want to know, like, well, what has Dan been up to? This is the stuff that Dan's been up to. And I've been in this stuff for quite a while. CETX was one, again, that came across the AI today. I'm in this one. What a beautiful trade. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful trade. Laser, I caught this one from this channel, where I'm looking at the SPACs. And I forgot what they changed their symbol, but again, you guys have seen it before. I play these SPACs to get them to go into the market, different symbol, and hopefully run. The other thing I wanted to show you, Kodak, and how Kodak, and actually so many of these are similar to this GameStop situation. Take a look at this. I mean, once again, you think the market's efficient? Hell no. Don't believe what they tell you about the random walk and the market's efficient and everyone, no one knows anything. Look at this price movement in Kodak. And again, this was not my original entry. And notice how, kind of like GameStop, and I'm going to put this in again. Do you see the similarities? I mean, there's no surprise here. Look at it. Basing, basing, basing. I see it going back. So again, this is why I'm in this 3,700 shares. I'm seeing this. This is getting to be a strong, strong base. I'm looking for this thing to pop back over 20 and hit 40 soon. Again, this is not investment advice. This is just my concepts, what I implement myself. Again, here's another one that I've been in for a long time. Okay. Another one. See, look, this is another, like, I always look for outsized pain points, and then I try to exploit them. So this thing went from 32 to 95 cents in basically like 3 months. Brad, they make money.
Boy, I didn't see that low. That is low.
From 32 to 54 cents, I mean, but it's probably like 95 cents, and they make money. So again, I'm enjoying a very nice ride in that one. As you guys know, you've seen this, I've been in CCIV at 10. This is my entry. And this thing, kind of just like your Kodak and GameStop, it ran up, then it corrected, but I think it's on its way back up. So I play, and by the way, there's a name for this type of concept. It's called mean reversion, right? So it sprang up, then it kind of reverted back to the mean, and I try to catch them here again and add, and hopefully the trend resumes. Another beautiful, beautiful trade. In this one below 10, 7-ish right here, and it's heading to 21. And again, I've talked about this one, and this is another one that had kind of a significant short float. And since we know these short floats are underreported, who knows what the real short position is. So high level summary. We've added this visual trading P&L parameter so that you can really see the effect of money as it relates to the price move for whenever you get in. Again, it's going to be on a beta that's probably going to be released, I mean, very, very shortly. Okay. I happen to trade my 401k. You should find out if you can, and there's nothing wrong with it because you're not going to get rich having the other people do it for you. Again, this is not investment advice, just telling you what I'm doing. I showed you the AI and how, again, you can use our concepts of re-entries to allow the software to do what it's supposed to do. Here, it'll get you in. Okay, you took a small loss, no worries. And if it continued to go back in that direction, it would get you in again. And finally, what I'm saying is that aside from just the AI, I can also create any kind of strategy that I want, and I watch the P&L in simulated mode, and then if I like what I'm seeing from the simulated P&L, I simply add to my real account, whether it's 401k or Brokerage Plus. And in this case, we added a new mode in Brokerage Plus, and under Windows, it's called privacy mode, which I have. So what that means is that your account is obfuscated. So that means if you want to share this on social media or other people, you can see, like, without having your real account, all of this is set up so that it's easy for you to share. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of the majority of the presentation today. Is really wanted to highlight that visual that we added, to make it easy for you to see your gains or losses. Of course, there's the channel bar. I didn't have time to go into it today, but we've done that plenty. There's the Wall Street Bets channel. In case you're wondering who you're dealing with here, you have a patriotic company with all of our developers in the United States. We have zero money from venture capital. You are our venture capital. We're very proud of that. We talk about it all the time. We don't outsource anything. We've had no turnover for over 17 years now, I think, on Trade Ideas. And we were ranked 3109 in the Inc. 5000 fastest growing privately held companies. And we're going to be a lot better. And we're going to be one of the very few companies that's on this list 5 years in a row. So just FYI. Barry Anderson, who is the lead moderator of the Trade Ideas Trading Room, does a fantastic job day in and day out of helping people with all the nuances of trade ideas. His room is available at trade-ideas.com/trading room. And it's a fantastic resource. It's completely free, whether you're a subscriber or not. I highly recommend it because, again, Barry's covering all the interesting stocks, obviously all the Gamestop and AMC type action, but also all the other kind of things, okay? We have lots of free information for you to learn very different nuances of trading. In this case, we have a free ebook done by our team member, Sean McLaughlin, who's very smart in different aspects of the stock market. And this one's about trading earnings, which is a nice concept for people that want to expand their realm beyond just simple buying and selling. Okay, what sets us apart from every other vendor is our education and our continued curriculum. So every day there's something for you to be able to improve your trade ideas. You have these daily support sessions. They're all, again, they're continuous. And depending on if you're a novice to an advanced expert, there's something for you at trade-ideas.com/live. Okay, now this is the fun part. This is you are being our venture capital. And again, for those of you that need to subscribe immediately after my amazing presentation, please do not injure your wrist. We want to make sure you know this is how much our software costs on a per day, but of course we charge monthly and annually, but this is on a per day cost. And I have to be honest, and I say this all the time, even without the discount, okay, on our premium, would cost you about $2,200 a year. That's right, a year. If you can't afford that, may I please suggest not trading? That's right. I'm going to suggest that if you cannot handle spending $2,200 a year for consumer-facing AI, as an example, then the pain you're going to receive from actual losses is going to destroy you mentally. You have to be able to take some losses, shrug them off, and continue with your plan. And if $2,200 becomes an impediment to you, then please don't subscribe to Trade Ideas or really any other service. But if you get free, you get what you paid for, Robinhood style. For those of you that do end up subscribing, please note that we have a promo code for you today called Opportunity, all caps, that gives you 15% off your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. We have a podcast every Friday, and although I don't do it anymore, Sean and other team members have been amazing. So please look for our podcast in your podcast search engine on Apple or anywhere else you have it. I used to be the host, but it's Sean now and some of our other team members.
But like everything, you've been relieved of your duty.
Oh, it's like social media. They can't handle me, man. They can't handle the truth. So while I am kicked off of all social media for various reasons, we do have an active social media presence and appreciate when you interact with us there. Please look at us on Twitter. Did @TodayTrader get his account back, Brad? I don't even know.
I don't know. I think he was suspended, but you know.
Poor fella. So I think one of our guys got suspended because he knows me. So scratch out Today Trader. Another one bites the dust. @Trade Ideas so far has not been suspended, and @QuantBot also has not been suspended. And we seem to still have a Facebook group, although I'm suspended from that and I can't go there. So please like us there. I won't know, but I'm sure our people will tell me. And of course, you can always call us or just simply shoot us an email at info@trade-ideas.com. Erson, I got suspended because I like to tell the truth on social media, and social media doesn't like the truth. You know that. Like, you know, our wonderful president who got kicked off. So, guys, that's really where we are. In terms of where to find out how to get started and things like that, please go on our YouTube channel. Just all you have to do is look up Trade Ideas on YouTube and you'll see the Trade Ideas YouTube channel. Go there and there's literally tons of information of every kind, from how to get started to how to set up windows and all things of that nature. I think this concludes our Q&A webinar. Scott, I think we're ready to rock and roll unless there's something else that I'm missing.
Yeah, no, everything's covered. So people can stay tuned tomorrow for an email from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist with this session's recording. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you all. Take care.
Bye.